Okay, it is definitely no secret at all that Suge D likes to dance. Suge D likes to move. Suge D is a little bit of everywhere, and that requires my feet. So you know what that means? My feet got to be comfortable, but at the same time, if you catch my feet, they got to be stylish. That's why I recommend for myself and for you at home, Bombas.com. Yes, Bombas. I'm tired of these socks that get the holes in them real fast. I'm tired of these socks that be slipping off of my ankle. I gotta do that annoying thing where I gotta fish my finger down in there and pull the sock back up and get it right where it's supposed to be. And then before you know it, it's all jammed down at the bottom. So I got that weird ankle scratch against the freaking wall of the shoe and whatnot. Never with Bombas. Not only are Bombas made of premium material, but on top of that, they've got no slip technology, so they stay exactly where they're supposed to. They make them in all sorts of different cuffs. So you got the all the way long, you got the calf, you've got the ankle, and you've got the classic no-show. So you can wear it with whatever is your shoe preference. They make them in dressy, they make them in sport, and on top of that, they even have the grip ones with the little balls at the bottom of the feet to make sure that you got your yoga grip on just in case you're into that sort of thing. And check this out. As if they weren't already cool enough, on top of that, for every pair that you buy, they match a pair to donate to the homeless, with socks being one of the most requested items that they have on their list. Bombas sounds like a good idea all the way around. It's absolutely worth it. And on top of that, they got a customer satisfaction guarantee. You don't like them, for whatever reason, send them back. Full refund. They'll send you another pair. They're figuring out whatever it takes to make sure to make you happy. And happy feet are a happy life. Bombas.com. Make your next step your freshest step.
It's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the soul seductive sounds of the Soul City Shouty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Sugar D.
Beat them. Keep the beat them. Just lacing me up properly every time. Lord Jesus. Welcome to another edition of Funny Cash Shows. This is your place where we get to talk a little bit about the success, the stress, and the mess that comes with trying to chase your dreams. It's your boy, Suge D. We're here on stage, live, ready to kick it again. A little bit of storytelling today. We got a little bit of an interesting subject that I'd like to share with y'all. And I'm hoping that the subject today touches you in a very special area. I mean that in the most consensual way when I say this. Listen, with your permission only. I see all the stuff that's going on with all the grab assing and the harassment suits that are going on right now. Look, I ain't got it. Okay? Ain't no money in the account. I'm constantly hustling for mine. I just don't have time to get caught up in that kind of scenario right now. Last thing I need is to get subpoenaed for trying to touch somebody in their special area via auditory. It's America. They sue for anything these days. So I'm just trying to protect myself and make sure that I'm protecting you too. If I got to, we could just go ahead and we could sign like a formal disclaimer before we get going a little bit. That way we could just do all the touching in special areas that we need to without any kind of form of retribution being held over our heads, if that works for you. Or, we could just take what I'm saying tongue in cheek and we could just continue on with the show. I think it'd be easier if we take it the other way that I'm saying. Yeah, very much so. Anyway, I just feel like I can't help but notice whether I'm looking on social media, my travels on the road, just people in general. It seems as if like it's encouraged to be your own human being until it's suddenly not cool to be your own human being. Like, I know that sounds confusing. That's why I'm going to try and clarify a little bit. Like, I just don't get where people get off at times just saying like, oh well, you know, you got to grow up to be your own person, and you have to go out there and be an individual, be a part of something, be great, but most of all, be unique. And then people attempt to be unique. They try to use their skills, they try to have their own opinion about certain things, and then people immediately chastise them and get on them and argue with them and throw them in a box and just make them feel like they should regret even being true to who they are and themselves at any given time. I hate seeing stuff like that. I hate people who are just okay with being a part of the flock. That drives me up a freaking wall. Unless we're talking about Ravens flock from the good old days of WCW, I just don't see the point of being a part of one. And there's such a hypocrisy around just, hey, be your own individual, but make sure your individual opinion matches ours. So where do ideas come from? Where does the back and forth come to be able to meet in the middle? Like, if everybody thinks the same, nothing special. Like, it's just one big wave of agreement. And it can't always be like that. There has to be times where there's that mind or that opinion that is able to kind of test the waters of what everybody deems as safe or as status quo. And then the moment somebody tries to do that, all the individuality that's supposed to be cherished suddenly goes out the window, and you're a part of the problem. It's stupid. I can't stand it, and I wish better. I'm very unabashed about the fact that I couldn't stand elementary school all the way up to about probably halfway through high school, because there's a lot of that. If you try to be your own person, or you speak out of line of what's with the wave, whether it be like, just with teachers or even your own student body, you are put in your own little category of hell. And it takes a strong center of self-confidence to be able to kind of hold up against that kind of scrutiny. And it's a scrutiny that I feel like people shouldn't have to deal with in the first place. You go out in the workplace or the workforce, or you tell people that you've got your own ideas or visions of how you want to make things happen, and you're a crazy man or woman. Why is it so crazy to want to have your own slice of what you think the world could be? There's a courage and a fearlessness that comes along with being that kind of person that knows their purpose, knows what they stand for, is able to hear the points of others, respectfully disagree, and still be able to shine through with their particular point and just move forward. There's definitely times where I'm going to agree. There's definitely times where I'm going to disagree. But I'm also not going to be forced to be a part of the pack. Nor should you. If it doesn't make sense to you, cool. If it completely makes sense to you, cool. I'm glad that you found like-minded people. But I cannot stand that practice of being forced to go with the wave. I keep repeating it, but I keep staying strong with that. That should be a wave that you want to get washed up in, not one that you're forced to have to dive into because that's what you should be doing. Way to be an individual, way to go with what people claim to teach but don't follow through on. I guess I'm so passionate about this particular subject thinking about it because I just look at people that are so young now. I look at my own nephew. I look at a niece that's just come into the world, and I just think about the fact that they have people every day that are influencing them and wanting to take them down roads that they may not necessarily want to do, and they base it off of the fact that, oh, well, I know you've got your own particular way of thinking, but it's wrong. I'm going to tell you why. And then here's 100 sheep behind me that agree with me. Popular opinion is not always the best opinion. And I feel like if you're looking to make it, if you're looking to succeed, I talk about this all the time. Like, that's part of the reason why this show exists. We need that dosage from time to time to be reminded that our path is completely justified and completely right at times. Everybody's not going to necessarily agree with how we wish to succeed. Success is oftentimes, believe it or not, a matter of opinion. Just because you see the road to success this way through the ocean doesn't mean that I can't find a road to success through the desert, much like somebody else can't find a road to success through the mountains. As long as we're able to reach that destination, who cares? But then again, you got a lot of people who care because they'd much rather commentate and speculate about how you're doing it versus getting it done themselves. You don't have that kind of time to waste. I don't have that kind of time to waste. I'm talking about the kind of people that want to see the change in the world and become it, not the people that are just watching change happen and have all the commentary in the world about it. That ain't us. And when I talk about us, I'm talking about people who are either successful or on the way to succeed because we believe in what it is we have to offer and how we feel. One of my favorite examples of just going with your feeling comes from a conversation that I was having with ACH, who is a very popular New Japan wrestling star and just all across the independents right now. Love him to death, great dude. And he's one of those types that I feel like in a lot of locker rooms they've tried to extinguish his light because, you know, he's loud, he's boisterous, but he's having a good time and he just enjoys what it is that he does. And I can relate to that. And some people just don't know how to be able to just enjoy or let somebody just be carefree. The moment they're around somebody that's a little too carefree for their own good, the question immediately comes up, oh my God, how are they so happy all the time? How are they always just so bubbly? And that's like a real haterific question to ask. Like, Lord forbid somebody just be happy for no reason and just enjoy what it is that they're doing. So you got to bring them down to make them feel some kind of way. Like, it's just lame. Anyway, in one of our conversations, he says one of the reasons that he's not a huge fan of social media and he makes it a point to just try to listen or watch something and not ask for input on what other people feel is he's seen situations where something will get on social media and all of a sudden people will take a combined opinion about it and that's that. He's definitely one of those types that feels that, you know, like say, okay, here's the example. Say, for instance, I'll use one of my favorite movies. I love the movie Surf Ninjas. I still love that movie to this day. Moto Surf Forever. That's awesome to me. Surf Ninjas to me is always going to be a classic, and I don't care how corny and hokey the movie is. It's just good. Like, I enjoyed it. You get on the internet and you go to the right page and all of a sudden there's 50 people talking about how it's terrible story. I hate the way it was shot. Who would ever like the movie Surf Ninjas? This is just terrible. Like, here's 50 million reasons why this could have been a better movie. And you know what? Some people actually will read this stuff or see it and all of a sudden they cater their opinion to what they just saw because they feel like they're in the wrong for just liking this movie for what it is. As a performer in the ring, that's rough too because you get so many people that are scared to just have an opinion on how they feel about something in the moment. They're what I like to call the I'll see how I feel about it later fans. Like, they have to wait till Twitter or Facebook tells them how to feel about the match. Like, did you enjoy it? Were you into it while you were there? Then why do you have to go on Twitter or Facebook so that you could find out what the star review on it was? Like, was it a 2-star or 5-star affair before you could feel the need to feel something about it? You felt something right then and there. Why can't you just enjoy it or not enjoy it based off of how you felt right there with your own eyes versus what you read or what somebody had to tell you? And that happens a lot. Like, you can't just enjoy a song anymore. You can't enjoy an album anymore without either everybody enjoying it or you being a fool for enjoying it, and here's why. it's okay to have your own opinion, even if it's not popular. Spoiler alert, your life still goes on. Yeah, it really does. And as you know, I usually have these little asides like this, just stream of conscious thought, so that I could lead into whatever the story is on the second half, which is technically our loose format for Funny Cash Shows. So the story that I have to tell, it's just kind of based on the fact that, like, it was a scenario that was utter hell for me, because I was letting decisions and feelings of others completely control the quality of time that I was having that evening. And if I had it to do over again, there would have been way more middle fingers. Granted, I probably would have been putting myself at risk, but there would have been way more middle fingers to what people were telling me I needed to do. And I just would have done what I always do, which is enjoy the evening, set it the way I felt it needed to be set, and just have a good time. How many of your potential good times are you willing to sacrifice just for somebody else to feel comfortable? Stop it. Just stop it. That's your good time. That's time that you're not getting back, that they're not refunding you. They'll live. Tell them to chill out for a little bit and enjoy some new things. And if they can't enjoy some new things, then, I got 2 words for you. Leave, please. Ha! Ha! You thought I was going to say suck it. You thought I was going to say suck it. Not this go around. Not this go around. I'll tell you what is about to happen this go around, though. We're going to pay some bills. Yes, I say it every time. We're going to pay some bills. So, yeah, we're going to go on a nice little commercial break real quick. And when we come back, I got a story for you about staying true and the terrible time that you could have when you're definitely not doing that. Funny Cash Shows. See you in just a bit. As a professional wrestler, the hardest part isn't the bumps and bruises on your body or the miles that you accumulate, but oftentimes the fact that it is hard to find proper opportunity for the work that you're putting in. This is why Jonathan Gresham, former CZW World Champion and ROH Superstar, as a part of Search and Destroy, has come up with the Back to Basics camps. These camps are designed to give you the knowledge, techniques, and opportunity to be able to move your career forward in a positive manner. They return on December the 7th and 8th at the CZW Academy at 110 Harmon Drive, Suite 304 in Blackwood, New Jersey. December the 7th will be an all-women's camp, while December the 8th will be an all-men's camp. Both dates will be attended by Beyond Wrestling promoter and booker Drew Cordero, as well as CZW owner DJ Hyde. They will be scouting talent for companies such as Beyond Wrestling, Combat Zone Wrestling, West Side Extreme Wrestling in Germany, Women's Wrestling Revolution in WSU, with the well-traveled and current Women of Honor superstar Sumi Sakai as the head coach of the female camp on December the 7th, while Jonathan Gresham will be personally head coaching the men's camp on December the 8th. Isn't it about time you put a lock on your future and make your grind absolutely worth it? Go to backtobasicscamps.com to reserve your space and be ready to move your career to the next level. And we're back. Back to give you a little bit more of what you came for. Funny Cash Shows, Episode 3, The Trilogy. All great things in threes. I am just trying to live up to what will soon be the greatest trilogy in the history of man, which will be Bad Boys. That's right. They're coming out with a third one. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, all of them. I'm not worried about it. Bad Boys. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. 3 of them. All 3 of them. That's all you need in your life, and I'm just trying to get to that level of good. So we've reached the Suge the Storyteller portion of our show. And to precurse the story that I'm about to tell you, I just want it known and out in the atmosphere, a brother don't like being broke, okay? I don't value or covet money. I just know that it makes things that you want to do in life a whole lot easier. So that's just why I'm about it. It's part of the reason why I'm not big on 9 to 5 work as well too, because I feel like there's always ways to make money, and I've always held down some kind of job since the age of 18. I've worked a ton of different places. My God. I always make that In Living Color joke about, being the pilot, the co-pilot, the engineer, the stewardess, everything. Like anything to make a buck, I'm about it because I know it's going to come up. It takes money to make money. All the cliches about just cash, period. It's part of the reason why it's one of the foundations of the show. You see, cash is the middle portion of this show. Like, you kind of need it. That being said, I like the fact that now I'm in a position where I don't have to do 9 to 5, 40-hour a week, always in the office kind of work. I'm doing all right for myself. I know I've got a lot of different skills and hustles at my disposal that make it so that I have a little bit more freedom about what it is that I want to do. And plus, I kind of like being my own. I like being my own means of being able to make the money as opposed to corporate sensibilities. You probably could already guess. I'm not going to say not a fan of it, but me and the corporate sensibilities don't quite mesh. And that's not a problem. I mean, it's not for everybody. You'll have people get in your ear all the time about, you're not going to make it unless, you get that suit and tie 9 to 5 401k job. But there's plenty of ways to get that money coming in and save if you put your mind to it. And granted, there are many good, skilled people that are all for that, and we need that. But that's not necessarily for everybody. I'm a creative, I'm a wanderer, I'm a little bit of a nomad, I'm an abstract thinker. So stuff like this is key. This is like lifeblood for me. So the same way that we need those people in those suits and ties, I'd like to think that I'm needed for what I'm dropping right now. And that's the way I'm going to keep it. So, jobs that I've had in the past. One of the jobs that I've had in the past, which some won't find too far-fetched, is actually DJ. DJ a ton of house parties, little club gigs, things of that nature. And I enjoy it because I'm a huge fan of music. I love it. It's my lifeblood. I need it. It's as essential as air to me. And I like being able to put songs together and just get people in the same vibe as me about a song when it's all said and done. And I absolutely loved it. I wish I had more time for it and more patience for it. But I'm finding in some cases, in any form of entertainment, hell, any form of non-entertainment, you got your share of politics. But damn, the politics of music, especially DJing in certain places, man, it's a little rough. And it's just not my scene to navigate that, along with some of the other things that I have to navigate already. So I more so do it for fun. And, of course, money when the price is right. I'm very adept at giving my email address, Sugardunkertonbro@gmail.com. So if you want to email me about, getting down on the ones and twos, I'm very, very, very available for that if the price is right. Just let me know. That said, this particular story that I'm about to tell is about easily the worst house party that I ever DJ'd in life. I actually texted one of the people that I went to the house party with before that, and I told them that this was the episode that I was going to tell that story. And like the LMAO was in the highest, largest, boldest, most underlined font that we could find, because it's finally time that this story gets told in widespread. And I'm so happy to get this one off of my chest, because this needs to come out. Oh, yes. Now, you know me, I like to set the scene. So here's the scene. Late January 2008. This is getting around that time where it hadn't quite reached fever pitch yet. But at this point in time, this is when you couldn't talk about a more hot rapper in the world than Dwayne Carter, a.k.a. known as Lil Wayne. You know, he dropped all the mixtapes. The Carter 2 done had its run. You know, Dedication and all that other good stuff is out. Like, there was no hotter rapper in the atmosphere. It was going down. Everybody was wondering when the Carter 3 was coming out. Oh, is it coming out January? Oh, is it coming out February? I heard it was coming out tomorrow. That's how serious the Wayne fever was. It was off the chain. It was the highest. It was the most that red baseball caps had been sold since Limp Bizkit was a thing. Okay, it was ridiculous. Everybody was running around in dreads and red baseball caps with white wife beaters. And I know around the time that's when I was growing my fro out, and I was constantly getting hit with questions. Hey man, when you gonna dread it up, shawty? When you gonna dread that thing up, man? No, never, cause dread sounds too much like this thing called commitment, and I definitely don't want to do that with my hair. Thank you very much. That said, it was around that time for the fever pitch. At the time, I was, just taking random house parties for my services. I absolutely was just in love with DJing around that time. I actually even slowed down on professional wrestling around that time because it was just busy enough where I was able to go ahead and do some of it. So I had me a little side gig working at a call center. For those who have never worked at a call center, it is a special kind of hell. Yep. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I truly feel that you don't understand patience until you've had to work a call center or retail, and I've had to work both. And for those of you who have yet to work either one, it really leads me to believe that you are part of the problem when it comes to asshole customers that come in the store, because you guys don't know how to act. So I feel like if those cats had to work even just 1 week, 40 hours at a normal call-in or restaurant job or, just retail store, they would really slow their roll about asking for the manager and, but the price says this, and let me speak to a supervisor, all that weird shit like that. Like it would be nipped in the bud quickly, and they would just have many seats. The amount of seats in a stadium, it would just go down. Okay, not to get off on the side, but one of my coworkers there at that call center, her name was Desandria. Love her to death. New Orleans chick, straight New Orleans chick living in Georgia, man. Like, she always was super opinionated. Said whatever was on her mind. I dig that about her. I still dig that about her. I run into her from time to time, and this is about get back at her too, because she know I did this for her. She know I did this favor for her, and I don't think she knew what she was getting me into until it actually happened. But she's apologized so many times since then, and like, this ain't really a get back at her. This is just me putting the situation out in the air. But if she is blushing a little bit about this, I'm not gonna feel bad about that either. I think if anything, she probably gonna laugh harder about it than I am about it. But I'm just having a normal shift in the middle of trying to provide world-class customer service and being underpaid for it. And in the midst between calls, she turns around and she gives me a tap, and she's like, "Hey, yo, Suge, listen, I got this house party that's coming up at a hotel that we've got going on like this Saturday, and they cannot find a DJ to save their life." Pause. That should have first indicated and let me know that there was going to be a problem. But, me being me, I'm excited. I heard DJ gig. I heard Pan. I was all about it. So, I just breezed right past that. They might have just had a hard time finding somebody in their price range or somebody who plays the stuff that they like to play. So, I avoided that particular sign, all right? Moving forward, I'm like, yo, well, D, we cool like that. I'll definitely go ahead and do it for you. Where's it going to be at? She's like, well, it's going to be off Gordon Highway. Second pause. Gordon Highway is probably one of the most hood, like, you just asking to get shot areas of Augusta, Georgia. Probably should have known something was going on there too. But, again, eagerness, trying to come through for a friend, trying to make something happen. I avoided sign number 2. Powered through. So I'm like, hey, so D, you know, like, okay, like, cool, I'm familiar with that. Like, where is it gonna be at? It's like Sunset, like Sunset Hotel apartment, something like that. It was one of them. It's one of them hotels where you know a drug deal about to go down. Like, you know, after a certain hour, like the drug fiends about to get popping, like the trap about to be jumping. Like, it was one of them kind of hotels. Like, I can't remember the name. I just know the type of venue that it was. But I was undeterred. I knew this was gonna have a good time written all over it because I was gonna make it a good time. So I'm like, yeah, D, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? Just tell them to have my money when I get there and everything. It's gonna be a blast. So I locked myself in. They had the services of, for those who paid attention to the first episode, they procured the services of DJ Captain Crunk. Yeah, I kind of flipped that name and made it useful in another arena. I mean, it was still a whack name, but at least that made more sense there versus in a wrestling ring. But I digress. So, the fateful Saturday comes up. I roll up to the hotel party with one of my good friends, Aranda. If she's listening to this, like, Aranda is my jam. Like, she's definitely my road dog. There is stuff with her that I've shared that only me and her will ever be able to laugh about. And she's absolutely one of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. And part of the reason I wanted her to go, aside from just wanting to get her out the house at that time, is just I know I could always have a good time when she's around, and I know there's just jokes and situations and side eyes and disses and roasts that I can have while she's around. So like I was like, okay, well, you know, that's my road dog. She gotta go. Like it's not gonna be lit without her, you know. So I go with her, and we get our ride out. We show up at the hotel. They text me the room number. So we're headed up, and I'm carrying my equipment and everything. So the third sign, which of course did not appear until I got to the door. I want to say it was like on the 7th or 8th floor. And when I got up there, the smell of pine cones and niggardry was strong out that door. I mean, it was bad. Like, I mean, they weren't even trying to hide the fact that there was some of that good oregano being burnt up inside that place. Like, it was bad. Like, I guess either the hotel people were just cool with it or they were just used to it at that point. Then again, you know what I said? It's like trap motel. Sorry. Let me double back. For those unaware of what a trap is a spot, especially when they talk about the trap house. A trap is a spot that you go to in order to procure such items that put you on another plane. That would be like, you know, your cocaine, your weed, things of that nature. Usually they're of a harder nature, but like, you know, the trap is just where you go to grab that kind of stuff. Everybody's got a trap, so let's not act all elitist while we're listening to this and whatnot. And that's what I love about Funny Cash shows. I could tell you about so many different stories from so many different arenas because I've been through all of them. So yes, the Trap Motel. We're gonna call it the Trap Arms Motel. You could just smell it through the door, man. So I just kind of knew what my night was gonna be. I just remember being so upset because I was wearing like this real fresh American Eagle striped polo, like this red and gray polo that I really, really like. And I just remembered that I knew when the night was over, that thing was gonna be smelling straight like, you know, like just not sawdust, but just agriculture. And not the good smelling kind. So I remember being mad about that, but I sucked it up because there was money to be made. Knock on the door. Door swings open. Every terrible hood stereotype is awaiting me on the inside. You got the BMW girls that's body made wrong, so they got like, you know, more like the booty dudes. Like, stomach stick out further than the booty do, and they got like, tight pants or ultra short skirts they ain't got no business wearing. You got the straight hood types. You got the dudes that been having a mixtape coming out for the past 6 years, and like for whatever reason they keep getting pushed back. So they just got signed to Pushback Records. 3-6 Mafia joke. Go ahead and look that thing up. You got, the weed man. You got the I just got this outfit off of layaway, so everybody got to see me in it. You got all of them types up in there. All them types. It was like, don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Decided that they were going to take a break and have a reunion party here in Augusta, Georgia, on Gordon Highway at the Trap Arms Hotel. It was that bad. So I'm sucking it up. I'm seeing all these signs, but it's okay. I set up my equipment. I got the speakers going. I'm doing my sound check and everything like that. Everything's set. I got my tables all set up. Aranda is my litmus the entire time of the evening. Like, I could watch her and I could just get a gauge of just what this evening is going to be like. And a lot of times her feelings mirror my own. So we ain't even got started yet because we ain't even found D. But we ain't even started, and Aranda is already off into a corner by herself, just staring at me like, you know what this gonna be, right? And I'm staring at her back like, but I gotta make this money. But she's staring at me back like, you know what this gonna be, right? Heavy sigh. Get the turntables going, and we start our night off. Now me, if you don't know my mixing style, I like to throw down. I just like whatever sounds good to me. So I love party stuff. I like island music. I love old school hip hop. I love party jams. I always have that little bit where I kind of slow it down a little bit. And then, we get back going with, some heavier stuff as we start to move forward. So, I figure, okay, let's give them a little bit of like, that stuff that they hear on the radio, just a little bit to start off. So, we got Young Jock going, we got Gorilla Zoe, all that good stuff like that. We just kind of get that going for a little bit. Everything's chill, no issues, etc., etc. Already noticing some stuff because, first of all, these are them hood type dudes that are too cool to dance with girls. Let me get started on that type of dude. The hood dude that's too cool to dance with girls is that dude that, they got their fresh gear on, but they don't want to be accused of being soft because they out there enjoying dancing when a girl wants to get up on them. These are those dudes that you see at the club or the house party where they posted up against the wall. You got the girl who is just like, she looking like she auditioning for the Back That Ass Up video when it was getting ready to come out. So she's just like throwing it on old boy. Like, they could have a baby with clothes on the way that she just like backing it up. You know what I'm saying? She throwing it. Like, she working hard. Like, she burning calories the way she throwing it back. And gangster that's too cool to dance with the girl just stands there, and they have either one or two stances. First, they have a stance that they're immediately familiar with, that being the hands behind their head and just like letting it sit, interlocking fingers, of course. This is the classic famous stance for when you go to jail or when you're about to go to jail. The other one is where they lightly rest their hands on the girl's hips while she bent over trying to throw it back. And if this is a big if they're really enjoying it, they might just lazily throw their hand up and give the booty just a little smack. That's it. That's all you're going to get out of a thug. Because they can't give you the satisfaction of that reaction. They are not about to throw it back to you the way that you throwing it to them, ladies. So I don't know why you working so hard. I feel bad for you. Jesus. But yes, we had them type of dudes. So like, they unimpressed. Their girl working hard. Eventually they get tired of it. So they just go intermingle and just talk amongst themselves or dance with each other. And they more interested in the back room. Now, every hood party got the back room. And we know what happens in the back room. The back room is where all the drugs is going down at, man. Okay? Like, they're not even trying to to hide the fact of it. It looked like a fire alarm up in that joint. Like just the smoke just coming out from the bottom of the door, the sides of the door. Like everybody coming out, their eyes all red. Everybody looked like they just need some Visine the moment that they step out of the back room. Like this was just a scattered party. Like, I like people intermingling so that there's a chance for things to happen. The ladies need to be intermingling with the dudes or something. Like some stuff just need to be happening. It's like everything was happening but on the floor. And when it was happening on the floor, it was just like them one or two girls that just like, oh, this is my song. And they over there and they doing whatever little thing it is that they doing. But like, it's not the same feeling as like a bunch of dudes and a bunch of girls just in there, just jamming out, having a good time, you know, getting the noise warning from the hotel or the cops having to come by. That's the kind of house parties that you want to talk about while you got some good music that they got to tell you to turn down because everybody turning up too hard. And this was definitely not the case. Now, one of the things that they teach you as a DJ is you gotta feel the flow out there. So I was giving them a little bit of what they already heard on the radio. Obviously, it wasn't grabbing everybody's attention or the floor wasn't looking the way I wanted it to look. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to do what I like to do. I'm going to throw it out there and like they're just going to have to deal with it or I'm going to get something started up in here. So I immediately start going into a lot more of my dance hall, like my reggaeton, all that good stuff like that. Which I absolutely love. Like I love the feelings those kind of songs give off. Like I'm talking about like that Duddy Rock Sean Paul album with the with Get Busy and Like Glue, Wayne Wonder, all that good stuff like that. So, I start getting into a little bit of that. The girls are starting to get into it, so now they're starting to attract a little bit more to the floor, and they're getting their shake on, they're getting their groove on. Some of them trying to pull their mans out to the floor and whatnot, and of course the men being all, either they too high, too drunk, or too, drunk on being gangster to want to come out there and actually enjoy their time with their female because, the boys ain't gonna like it. It's one of them like, oh, what my homie's gonna say, which is dumb because like you going home with her at the end of the night. Your homies ain't gonna be the ones to make you feel good if you get what I'm saying. So we got a little bit of that going on. They're having a good time, the ladies and whatnot. So it's like, okay, I segue into a little bit of old school hip hop. As I'm going through some old school hip hop, everything's all good. I got some Bone Thugs and Harmony playing, all that good stuff like that. I got a few people in the room vibing, and then that's when things start to flip. The back door opens. And it's like a smoke machine. Like this dude came out from the depths of hell to tell me this. Well, this dude come out and he's looking like a cross between like Bone Crusher and Marshawn Lynch with dreads. And like he's out there smoking on his spliff. It looked like it's a Black and Mild, but it's really a Black and Wild, like when you smell what's coming out of that thing. And he looking at me. He don't even approach me. Like he just come out enough so that he could yell what he was about to yell me next. And he like, look, hey man, ain't none of these women over here dancing, twerking on us or nothing like that. So you know what? I'm gonna need you to go ahead and put on that gangster shit. Go on, put on that damn gangster grills or something like that. I don't want to hear none of this soft shit. Now, my initial reaction was to remind this dude that you don't tell the DJ what to play. Not no damn house party unless we had like a set list or anything like that. Like, I looked offended. Like the way he came out is like he slapped my mom in front of me and told me I was gonna have to deal with it or something like that. And I was close to popping off at the mouth, but there were two things that stopped me. First was looking at Rhonda, who by this time was just frightened in the corner. She already had like 2 or 3 dudes try to hit on her. They talking about, ooh, your hair mad curly good. Where you from? And all that other stuff. So she already in straight protective mode. And she giving me this look like, you my ride home, so you don't need to be getting fucked up out here in these streets. And the second thing was, again, we are at a hood party. Things escalate very quickly. And I wasn't trying to have nobody make no shirts of me in memory before my time, if you get what I'm saying. So I proceeded to pull out the Gangsta Grills album that recently came out. and put on that Keep It Gangster. Even though there was a number of other cuts, such as the Art of Storytelling Part 4, that were on that album, he immediately said he wanted to hear that Keep It Gangster, so I put it on. And a part of me died a little bit as I was being forced into playing things that I didn't necessarily agree worked with what was going on for the atmosphere. I was finally working this thing into some semblance of a party, even if the dudes weren't acting like it. But here we are, playing this gangster stuff, and I had to proceed to watch any girls that we had at the party having a good time, like really enjoying themselves, letting loose, slowly starting to wither off the dance floor or sit down or start checking their phone and all this other stuff like that. I'm watching my party die before my eyes as bass and snare drum and weed smoke just take over the evening. The niggardry is winning. And for those of you who aren't aware of the word niggardry, like, and forgive me, I never said that this was a PG podcast. Niggardry, of course, being a derivative of the word niggerdom, which is a derivative of the word nigga, and it's pretty much just the basis of just nigga type activities happening in a setting where they shouldn't happen. For those of the races who know who they are, no, you still can't say it, but you can feel free to laugh along. Yeah. By this time, even the dudes, they ask for this kind of music, and they still just like, they might be nodding their head slightly, or, they filling their cup or whatever it is. But this party is still whack. Like, it's still whack. By this time, I done already saw D faded out of her mind, but she already can tell, like, she can see it in my eyes that I'm not happy. I'm changing songs, and I got my arms folded, like I'm in silent protest of just the music they got me playing out here and whatnot. Like, granted, she had my money, but like by this time it wasn't even worth the cash flow at this point. It was the principalities of the fact that this thing was just on some whackness. So this is what I decided to do. I had to fight my auditory stand against this just terrible trapness. So I decided that I was going to try to sneak in some Tupac. Yep, Tupac. So I figured, what is the song that I could sneak in, that I could get away with bringing this back to a party vibe, but still have a little bit of that gangster attitude? So I had to go to How Do You Want It? So I let the Gangsta Grill mixtape song die out a little bit. The familiar intro comes in, that how do you want it? I slide that in. It don't even get to the part where Pac is like, love the way you motivate your hips and thick your ass out. It don't even get to that part yet. Before, out of nowhere, I got this butch chick, like, yeah, she was butch. I'm just gonna call it what it is. She was butch. She was a stud, like, coming up to me. Of course, she had her red hat, dreads, double cup. Don't know what was in it. Probably wasn't Kool-Aid, but it was her cup, so I'm not asking questions. But she proceeds to roll up on me, faded but loud, and proceeds to tell me, stop this. You know what? I'm going to tell you what this party need. Play Wayne all night. Defeated, sullied, upset, tired of trying, I go into my CD book and I pull out the Lil Wayne Mega Mix. 78 minutes and 12 seconds of non-stop Lil Wayne tracks. I proceed to open up the tray on turntable 2, place the CD in, close it, and press play. I, at this point, have abandoned all mixing, scratching, cutting, any of it, and just proceed to do what anybody with a boombox and a burnt CD could have done, and just let random Lil Wayne tracks play for the duration of the evening. Don't you know everybody was just good? Like, they was just happy. Like, granted, there weren't really no dancing on the floor or anything like that, but everybody was just content with the fact that Dwayne Carter was in their ears. Around this time, Miranda has already fixed herself a drink, and she's going back into her safe place at the party. She goes to get a look at me because she's dumbfounded at the fact that, you know, it's been 30 minutes of Lil Wayne at this point, and I ain't changed it. She ain't heard no mixing, no crossfade, and none of that. And when she looks over, she can't help but die laughing when she sees me take my headphones and use the cord to simulate like I'm hanging myself right at the DJ booth. Of course, they didn't notice because everybody was too high, too drunk, all this other stuff like that. But it was easily the worst time I've ever had. I've never listened to so much Lil Wayne back to back to back to back. Like, I barely wanted to listen to the Carter 3 when it came out because I completely was just forced into weaving the kind of night that they wanted, and it wasn't special at all. It was something that I could have stayed at the house for. And yeah, I got paid, but that was easily one of those examples of sometimes it ain't the money, man. Like, that was a waste. Like, I could not wait to pack up and get out of there. And then Aranda, trying to be funny, we get in the car, and the first thing she's like, "Hey, you got any of that Lil Wayne?" And I never wanted to Chris Brown a female so bad up to that point. Oh my God. Like, I just remember wanting to karate chop the shit out of her. Like, I just wanted to chop her in the throat so she'd shut up after that. But, you know, we had a laugh about it, and I roasted Desandria when I got back to work. But, like, God, the house party was terrible. Like, it's everything that I wanted to touch upon in regards to how I feel about when you let other people influence you, and when you just can't have a natural good time because you're worried about what other people said. I just wish everybody had just let loose, let some of that island music just go ahead and take them over. That way the guys could have had a good time, the girls would have been having a good time, nobody's judging how you feeling, and everything just kind of moves smoothly. Like, we get to have an evening. Now this just to be the hood trap party that is a part of one of my stories on Funny Cash Shows. Also, I would highly suggest not to play Wayne. Not to play Wayne all night. Don't do it. Like, he's a great artist, but like, no, don't do that to yourself. Somebody can only hear nigga rhyme with the word nigga so many times. Like, it's just, no, it's not normal. It's just not meant to happen. Okay? Dwayne Carter is a great artist, don't get me wrong, but he was never meant to go marathon style. That is not how this was meant to go. Step your audio game up, please. Like, I would appreciate it. Oh, thank y'all for letting me get that off my chest, Lord, because that had been sitting on me. Oh. Everybody that listened to this episode, you know, feel free to help yourself to a Wayne CD, like a mixed CD or something like that. Shipping and handling, I'll cover the shipping and handling or whatever it is. Don't quote me on that, and I definitely won't be sending any of those out. I'm just trying to sound funny right now. Triggered. I'm so triggered right now. And there we are. The end of episode 3. And the moral of this story, I would imagine, is just, if you got a feeling, even if people are going to give you a little bit of shit for it, just run with it, man. Like, you only got one life to live, and either you're going to have great stories to tell about how you pissed somebody off, or you're going to have bad stories to tell about how you got pissed on. And nobody wants to smell like ammonia at the end of the day. So just do you. Set your own soundtrack. That's the best I could tell you. Thanks for your time, as always. Like, it really means everything to be able to just slip in your ears week to week. And I promise you, I got more funny, I got more stories, and I got more motivation for you to make sure that you're chasing whatever it is you're chasing, and know that you're not alone when sometimes life is the joke and it's laughing at you. Funny Cash Shows. Holla at your boy. This is Sugar D here, just letting you know that I do appreciate you for allowing me to slide in your MP3s right quick this week. If you wish to support the show, and by proxy me, feel free to visit www.prowrestlingtees.com/Sugardunkerton. I got the threads that turn some heads. Please order a shirt, look good in the process. Treat yourself 2017. Also, you can feel free to make a donation to the show by using the crowdsource link that's available on this landing page at FUNNY.CASH.SHOWS.podbean.com, or you can hit me direct at paypal.me/SugD. paypal.me/SugD, please. We appreciate the money that jingles, but we'll gladly take the money that folds. Sugardunkertonbro at gmail.com for any kind of bookings, whether it be hosting, professional wrestling, which is my main gig, as well as any other fun stuff that you want to send me. I'm all for it. Also, if you are looking for advertisement or to be a sponsor on the show, please email me, sugardunkertonbro at gmail.com. Not only are my drops plenty nice, but I also have got a lovely price if you're trying to make sure that you get some ears on whatever your brand or product is. Have a good one. I'll see you next week. Take care.